Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you, and today we're going to be going through the bit of a counter guide for the new Mega Pokemon coming into raids in Pokemon Go. So you might be thinking, well, Zoe, why do we need a raid counter guide? It's just going to be Charizard and Venusaur and Blastoise, and we know what they're weak to. No, you don't, apparently, for like probably 2/3 of those, because if you've never played, the main series games before, if you've never encountered or dealt with or learnt about Megas before, a lot of Pokemon actually change their typings when they Mega evolve. They either become a combo type, like a dual type, or they maybe change what moves they have, that kind of jazz. So the Pokemon that you might have already had prepared for previous raid battles against Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise maybe will be different for a few of those things going forward, specifically for the Mega Raids. So there's going to be a quick little counter guide on those 3/4 because Charizard has like a bit of a split in there, and then also a raid counter guide for Beedrill. Again, I don't know if Beedrill will be in the raids because it was hinted at as being part of the research, like a bit of a research Beedrill adventure. It might still be in raids as well. It might not. It might just be, the starter lads. But I've included it anyway just for extra info. Keep in mind as well, this counter guide is being put together before, I guess, a lot of the in-game stats and things are known for Mega Pokemon. So this could change a little bit in terms of, maybe this one particular Pokemon is a bit better than this one in terms of damage over time, or a bit faster, a bit quicker attacker. Additionally, there might be other strats for trying to optimize the time, how fast you take it down. Maybe you're going to have a team that faints 3 times, but it's so much faster at taking the Pokemon down that it outweighs, that negative at fainting. Because the faster we beat Mega Raid bosses, the more Mega energy we will be getting. So this could change. This has all been made before. Again, keep an eye out on Pokebattler.com. They do some fantastic just tier lists for what is the best thing to use for counter Pokemon, for raid bosses. I'm sure they'll be updating as all this information comes to hand and as people are playing and testing and all that good stuff. Additionally, we don't necessarily know 100% right now what moves the Mega Pokemon could have because they might get some spicy stuff. Again, that might affect this list, but for the purpose of this educational experience, I'm not going to steer you, astray. So we'll jump into this. If anything changes drastically, it'll be pinned in the comments, but I doubt anything too wild will change from this. Let's start with one that's not too extreme, and that is Charizard. So Charizard, when it goes Mega, has got 2 different options. There's Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. So we'll start with the easiest one, that is Mega Charizard Y, stays the same type. It is a fire and flying type, same as regular old Charizard, happy days. It's going to be weak to rock, water, and electric type Pokemon, but 4 times weak to rock. So pretty much stick with the rock types for this one. Water and electric is only double times effective, rock is gonna delete it. So the top counters you're gonna want against this will be Tyranitar, Shadow or not. Shadow's gonna do more damage. Shadow's also an expensive investment, so either of those is fine, with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Up after that is Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide, Rhyperior with Smackdown and Rock Wrecker. Gigalith, we should all have way more than enough candy now to evolve one of these. We had that, Rog and Roller boosted shiny event. We should definitely have something, to evolve a bit of, almost a team of these potentially. Gigalith with Smackdown and Rock Slide, and then even rolling into, just to kind of show you guys how much more effective the rock types are than using, an electric or a grass. Even things like Omastar, Aerodactyl, the Golems, both of the Golems, even I think Graveler, I'm pretty sure, ranks higher to use against Charizard than to opt for the water and the electric types. Go for the rock boys. Even if you need some of the budget picks, they'll be doing way more damage and way faster. Mega Charizard Y, easy, rock boys. Mega Charizard X, however, it drops the flying type and picks up dragon, so it is a fire dragon type. Again, thankfully we recently versed a fire dragon type that was Reshiram like a month or 2 ago, so maybe you have a team kind of semi-prepared for this. But Mega Charizard X will be weak to rock, ground, and dragon types, so no watery types coming in at all. Ignore the thinking of water puts out fire. No. We're going to be putting out this fire with some ground. So for the rock types against this one, exactly the same. You might want to make a team of rock boys for both variations of Charizard. That should get you out of trouble, assuming there isn't any weird kind of moves that will, affect them necessarily. For Rhyperior, you can have Mud Slap and Rock Wrecker again, just a different fast move there. You can have Rhydon with Mud Slap and Earthquake as a budget pick, and Excadrill with Mud Slap and Drill Run. Now keep in mind, Excadrill is weak to fire, so I'd be recommending using Excadrill if it's, you know, the Charizard has the Dragon type moveset or something. You can usually tell what moveset a Pokemon will have by what it auto recommends. So say if you're versing Mega Charizard X and it's auto recommending the Excadrill, you can probably safely assume that it has a Dragon set move, not a Fire set move. If it had a Fire set, it wouldn't necessarily be recommending the Excadrill, unless everything else you've got is fainted or something. Additionally, you can use Dragon types against Charizard X, so those Dragon types being Dialga with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor. You can use Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Outrage, Haxorus with Dragon Tail and Dragon Claw as well. And additionally, I think the best Dragon type would be Shadow Dragonite. Again, it is a more expensive investment, but if you have got Shadow Dragonite, that's a good one too. Jumping across to Mega Blastoise. Pretty cool, he's got an extra cannon. This one stays the same. So Mega Blastoise stays the same. It's a mono water type attacker. So it's weak to grass and electric. Basically what you've come to expect. Use your best grassy boys, your best electric gals, whatever you're vibing. Top picks are going to be Zekrom with Charge Beam and Wild Charge, Raikou with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge, Magnezone with Spark and Wild Charge, Electivire with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge. It's a little wild in here. Zapdos with Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt, Luxray with Spark and Wild Charge, and getting down to the budget picks as well, you can have Jolteon with Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt. For the grassies, our classics, Venusaur with Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant, Tangrowth with Vine Whip and Power Whip, Roserade with Razor Leaf and Grass Knot, Alolan Executor with Bullet Seed and Solar Beam, Leafeon with Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade, and Torterra with Razor Leaf and Frenzy Plant. Magic, happy days. For Mega Venusaur, this is one that is interesting because in the main series games, when Venusaur goes to Mega Venusaur, by default it gets given an ability called Thick Fat. It gets thick with like 7 Cs, which means that it doesn't take double type damage from ice and from fire moves. So here's the thing though, it's kind of like a signature feature of Mega Venusaur, but it's an ability. So are we gonna see that in Pokemon Go or not? If I have heard an answer, I will either chuck it in here on screen or pin it in the comments if I've been given an update about this. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to wait and see for these rates to drop. But regularly, Venusaur is weak to fire, ice, flying, and psychic types. If it has got this, you know, thick fat ability, but not an ability because we don't have abilities in Pokemon Go, but if it's retaining that, you know, character trait, that classic signature trait in Go, we're gonna wanna just use the flying and the psychic types because they'll be doing double effectiveness, whereas the ice and the fire won't be. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, I've made a combination of all of the options. If it does happen to be weak to fire and ice, the fire type attackers are generally the best bet. They're gonna have a bit more of, you know, we've had a bunch of legendaries that are really good. We've had a bunch of budget picks as well. And the fire type options that we have got in Pokemon Go are very attack heavy. Like they're gonna just be spamming out the moves, being very quick and very powerful at the same time. Whereas things like the flying kind of rank a bit lower than if you can use fire, etc. So if it is weak to fire, here are the best picks. Fire options are Reshiram with Fire Fang and Overheat, Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat. Kind of a new one here with Darmanitan with Fire Fang and Overheat. It's a bit of funky, fresh new spice. You can also use things like Heatran, Entei, Moltres as well. Charizard can also be used. All really, really good fire type attackers. And all ranking well above, you know, a lot of the flying types and the ice types. Next in order of priority there, I would say the psychics. So at the very least, the psychics will be safe regardless of whether it has this kind of typing ability slash typing effective change. So I'd say have some psychics on hand for either option. Psychics, the best one's going to be Mewtwo with Confusion and Psystrike, then Latios with Zen Headbutt and Psychic, Alakazam with Confusion and Psychic. Psychic on Alakazam is a legacy move, so unless you've used an Elite TM on it, it will be if you only have had like an old one. Otherwise, skip that and just go for the other ones that we had options for. You've got Espeon with Confusion and Psychic too. If you want to go for a bit of fun and flavor, you can use Azelf if you're someone who is in the USA region, or if you managed to trade for one of these bad boys before, you know, back in the before times when we could see people, Azelf, just for a bit of fun, I guess. Just a bit of a weird pick with Confusion and Future Sight. Up after that, it's a bit of a tie between which is more effective between the flying and the ice. So we'll go flying first in case it has got that thick fat ability. And for flying, it will be Moltres with Wing Attack and Sky Attack, Honchkrow with Peck and Sky Attack, and Rayquaza with Air Slash and Aerial Ace. Then into the ice types, a new one, new, very icy, prevalent one that's kind of taken over for the ice space is Galarian Darmanitan. And that one you're gonna want to have Ice Fang and Avalanche, Glaceon with Frost Breath. You can have Glaceon with Frost Breath and Avalanche. Wow, it's Frost Breath Avalanche. Frost Breath Avalanche. And Weavile with Ice Shard Avalanche. Again, we'll find out if I know. If I hear something, I'll pin it in the comments. Otherwise, we're gonna find out when these ones roll into raids and we see what does more damage. I have a bit of a gut feeling it just won't happen, I guess, just because it is an ability. It isn't that its typing physically changes. It's just its ability. But it's a signature ability. It's, I don't know, what do you guys reckon? And lastly is Mega Beedrill. This one stays the same, so it stays as a bug and poison type. And thankfully you've done all the prep in the previous ones, so that if Beedrill is in raids, it is weak to flying, to rock, to fire, to psychic. So literally any of those typings that we mentioned before, perfectly fine against Beedrill. So your Moltres, the Rays, the Honchkrows with the flying stuff. For rock, you've got the Titar, the Rampardos, Rhyperior, Gigalith, we've got Reshiram, Chandelure for the fire, Charizard for fire, you're good. Anything that you've prepped for your previous teams, happy days. Keep in mind, again, as well, there is an extra reward of Mega Energy the faster that you take down the raid boss. So this might be a time where it's, you know, time for you to invest and to power up in some of your better IV Pokemon. Don't feel bad if you're, you know, oh, I've only got a 91% or an 89%. I want to hold out until I get 100% to, you know, power it up a little bit. The difference in, what is it? I think the difference between 100% Pokemon with IVs and a 96% Pokemon in IVs is literally like 1 to 4 seconds different in terms of damage. If they're the same level of power up and just their IVs are different by that, you know, 4 IVs, it only equates to like a couple of seconds at the end. Of course, there is the incentive to get it done faster, but it's not like crippling. It's not groundbreaking. It's like a couple of seconds. Especially if you're doing it as a team, you got all your friends in there for the raids, you'll be smashing it down fast in no time at all. But yeah, it might be time to power up, time to spend on maybe one of your nice ones you've been hanging on to for a bit. Give it the right moves, power it on up, get it out there, and, you know, treat it nice. Let it you know, let it rough and tumble and have a bit of a tussle. Additionally, please keep in mind that type effectiveness is so much more important than having a big legendary, having the big boy Pokemon or whatever it is. Something that is better type effective, as we said with, you know, Charizard being 4 times weak to rock. Even if you have a maxed out Kyogre versus a maxed out Golem, the Golem's gonna do more because of the typing. It doesn't matter if the Kyogre's 4000 CP and isn't he the coolest, that weakness to the rock typing is so much heavier in the weighting of just what it does. Plus, you'll be getting a damage bonus for doing super effective damage. Maybe you get more Premier Balls and things like that if your team does the most damage. So keep that in mind. Don't feel embarrassed to be like, well, I've only got Golems and Gravelers. That's still better. That's still better than, you know, if you don't have the 100% Groudon maxed out, that's okay. Stick with optimal typings and you'll be A-okay. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these Mega Pokemon are you most excited to get? Is there one that you just want to see in game and see how it animates and moves and attacks? Is there one that's just your all-time favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, lovelies, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to everyone who did leave a like as well. And if you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links for Patreon and the merch in the description down below. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.